Absolute honor.
Zach,
guys,
nice to meet you. Zach Gagan.
Jack?
Zach, and
Come sit down with us.
Zach.
yeah, yes, sir. Make it easy for you.
Man.
You're going to stand?
Hey, we'll stand for you.
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm messing with you.
I just want you to be comfortable.
I'll
I
do
just want
whatever
to
you
be
say, Tubby
comfortable.
Smith.
Are you Zach too?
I'm Jack.
Jack and Zach.
Yeah.
Come on.
We'll make it difficult,
Yeah, you don't.
but easy.
You guys making this up, right?
So,
Jack and Zach.
so being back in Lexington, what does this mean to you to be around the fan base again, to get the warm embrace that you so obviously deserve?
I don't know if I deserve it, but I'll accept it. But but people deserve. Kentucky deserves it, not necessarily me. My players, and I was so blessed to coach here. You know, like Cameron Mills and Jeff Shepard and Allen Edwards and Scott, all those guys. And I never made a jump shot that was meaningful since 1973, and I tell people all that all the time. So it's, and I was listening to Kenny, coach, talk about his team and how great they are. And then I watched Mark Pope's team work out yesterday. So I'm so impressed with the I guess the character of the men that are leading our Kentucky Wildcats now. And I say our because Kentucky is probably where I spent most of my time. 12 years I was here, 2 years as assistant coach and 10 years as a head coach. So I'm always pulling for Kentucky, and I'm pulling for Coach Brooks and Coach Pope.
Tubby, you know more than anybody on this planet what it's like to follow a legend, and how difficult that is, the pressure that comes with that, and also understanding that, like, when things work and I am able to have that level of success, that it can be just the absolute peak of the sport. Watching Mark Pope kind of follow in those same footsteps, following John Calipari, how do you think he has done, and how do you kind of envision year two going for him?
I think he's been excellent. Done a remarkable job last year. Get him into the second round. I mean, that alone, with 9 new players. I don't think he had any returning players. Maybe 9 new players, and to be able to mold them into a competitive team. And if the kid doesn't get hurt during the season, he would have probably won the league or been one of the top teams. I know Tulane ended up, not Tulane. I mean Auburn. Tulane. Watching Tulane football tonight, but
John Summerall.
But he did a fantastic job, and I know with his staff, you know, especially Mark's staff and Kenny Brooks, I was so impressed with their level of teaching and coaching, and how the players communicated with each other and how they responded to their teaching and coaching.
I got one.
Well, so what is the connection that you have with Kenny Brooks? I know that you guys have a strong relationship. Yeah. Just how did that come to be, and how cool is it to watch him kind of take his own program over? You know, over the years, Kitley, he had a player whose uncle played for him. She played for him was all ACC Player of the Year. She's from the High Point area in North Carolina, and her uncle worked with me, or worked at the university, at High Point University. So I started watching his teams there very closely. But then we have some things in common, because he played for Lefty Driesell at James Madison, and I almost played for Lefty in 1969 when he came to Maryland. I had a chance to meet him and get to know him, which was a fantastic coach and teacher. So. And then we have similar coaching tree. By that I mean, you know, he's coached his 3 daughters. He got one on the team now. I coached 2 of my sons, but I had 3 boys. He had 3 girls. And so it's a family affair for him, and it was a family affair for me. And it's been that with, John Calipari had a chance to coach his son. You know, Rick Pitino had a chance to coach his son. It's a beautiful thing we can have family. So, and Mark Pope obviously has the pedigree and have the family background too. Having played here, he knows what it takes to win here. Okay.
As someone who's been in this position as head coach, just kind of a general question: what is it like to be on the inside walls of being the head coach of Kentucky, like a day to day? What is that like?
Well, it's
it's a genuine. When at 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you know you're representing the best basketball program in America, and all you can think about is what can I do today, or what have I done today to help make Lexington, to help Kentucky basketball be better. And so, but every coach, again, thinks that way, whether you're at High Point or from Tulsa or Georgia, and that's why you're successful, because you're committed to doing it the right way. You love being in the gym. You love that relationship with players, because it's a lifetime commitment. So that's, and we all got in it. I said coaches got in it because they love the game and they love being around kids and helping them, watching them reach their dreams. It just so happened that it's at Kentucky, the best basketball program in America. So you can't change who you are. You may adapt, but you can't. You have to be yourself. And I think the most important thing is developing that philosophy and that system and that culture and sticking to it.
I got another one. Other than Kentucky, what was your favorite coaching spot? Favorite place to coach for?
Well, probably when I look back at it, Tulsa.
Okay.
Probably was because it was my first head coaching spot. But I love coaching high school ball too. I didn't think I was going to be a college coach. I wanted to be a high school coach, and I had some pretty good teams at Great Mills High School in Southern Maryland and in Hope County and Rayford, North Carolina. And then I went to VCU, where we had a lot of success under J.D. Barnett, who had coached me for a year at High Point. So I had great teachers. I had great mentors throughout my career. And so I just wanted to be like them. And I knew I was going to teach and coach in the 9th grade because of my 9th grade math teacher who taught my dad into let me play basketball. So it's about giving back.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. That's why I was so happy to be a part of today with Kenny Brooks, Coach Brooks, because he, at least he said, I followed your career, Coach, and appreciate it. And so, and I hope that we helped him somewhere along the way. And he's one of the many, I hope, that I've been able to touch their lives, not just the players and my assistant coaches, but just the fans and other coaches around America.
Go down memory lane for your time in Lexington. Who is the most talented player that you ever coached to come through Kentucky?
I want to know that one too.
But there's not a better athlete than Rajon Rondo. And I just thought that pound for pound, it's kind of like being a boxer. He could move up the weight class, move down in the weight class, and still be the best athlete. And but I had some great players here. The Tayshaun Princeton, who just went into the Hall of Fame, the Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. We were here to honor him, and I couldn't be happier for him. The Jody Meeks, who went into the Hall of Fame, the Chuck Hayeses, Jeff Shepard, just on and on and on. Just some great athletes, and I just named a few. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I know I have. But every one of them, Allen Edwards, they were all special. And like I tell them, I love everyone that I ever coached, every player I've ever coached. And I want them to know that and tell them I appreciate everything they meant to me and my career and my family.
We got 2 more questions with you, Coach, and we'll get you out of here. Speaking of Rajon Rondo, coming from Louisville, getting him from the Louisville Cardinals, Mark Pope is in a very similar position right now with trying to recruit the number 1 player in the country. What kind of recruiting win was getting Rajon? Did that feel in the time and kind of the rivalry back and forth of that? How redeeming was that win?
Well, it wasn't so much redeeming as just that we had a need, and we had a greater need for him than probably anyone else, because we needed a point guard, and certainly Rajon had been great at Oak Hill Academy and at Eastern and in AAU basketball, and had a great reputation as being a very intelligent player, a very smart player, and he proved that while he was here. And he proved it in the NBA. Just like guys like Nazir Muhammad has national championships in basketball. And the one thing I regret is that Rajon didn't get an NCAA championship, and Tayshaun didn't get an NCAA championship. Those great players that deserved, if they had a better coach, maybe they could have. They might have had a chance to win one.
Stop it.
But we were very fortunate to coach some good players, and I don't know. I got off the subject about Rajon because
it was a good way. I was putting you on the spot for it.
It was a great recruit. It was very gratifying and very satisfying, and certainly had us in the Elite Eight again. With that team. So, what more can I say? Thank you all for having me today.
One message to this next team, the Mark Pope's year 2. If you were on the sideline coaching this team, what would be your message as they kind of start the process tonight, Big Blue Madness, and let this season begin for year 2 of Mark Pope?
Well, I would think just believe, trust the system. I told him yesterday, you've got to be able to anticipate, not just on the court, but off the court as well. You got to visualize and see things actually before they happen, and you got to dream about it. As a coach, I remember even when I was a student in college or in high school, I couldn't sleep until I rehearsed the exam, through my mind, the game, the plan, execute the plan, and if you do that, Coach has a great staff. Coach Brooks has a great staff. Coach Pope has a great staff. Trust that they're going to give you the advice and put you in the best situation. So just let it happen, and again, trust the system.
Tubby Smith needs no introduction or departure. You are the absolute best, man. It's an honor. Truly an honor. Jack and Zach.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Tubby.
Tubby Smith, everyone. I can't believe that happened.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
So that is the man.
Are we kidding me right now?
That's
can we just acknowledge
the reason
how cool that is?
The reason I'm here right now is because of Tubby Smith.